Hello friends, welcome to the Plant Science Forum. Now today's topic of discussion is electron transport chain and chemiosmotic ATP generation in mitochondria. Let's have a brief look at respiration. This is the case of aerobic respiration. Just remember that in case of plants there is no glycogen. In case of plants there are two types of sugars. One is the transporting sugar, another is the storage form of sugar. Transporting sugar is the sucrose and storage form of sugar is starch. Whereas in case of animals, transporting sugar is glucose and the storage sugar is glycogen. Here we are talking about the plants, so we have neglected the glycogen and now we are looking from downwards from the glucose. So glucose 6 carbon to 3 carbon pyruvate, this is the process of glycolysis. Now 3 carbon pyruvate get decarboxylated to form a 2 carbon acetyl coenzyme A. This is the connecting link between glycolysis and the Krebs cycle. This 2 carbon acetyl coenzyme A combine with the 4 carbon compound to undergo the process of citric acid cycle. Now this citric acid cycle forms NADH and FADH2, which then enters into the electron transport chain in the mitochondria. So let's have a compartmented loop. Here a glycolysis occurs in the cytoplasm of the cell and the pyruvate which is formed enters into the matrix of mitochondria. In the matrix of mitochondria there is a connecting link between the glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, that is the synthesis of acetyl coenzyme A. The citric acid cycle occurs in the matrix of mitochondria and synthesis of NADH and FADH2 takes place in the matrix of mitochondria. And later the inner membrane of the mitochondria, cristae, it consists of a various enzyme complexes for the electron transport chain. Now let's have again brief introduction. This is the last step in aerobic respiration where actually energy is released. While happening glycolysis and Krebs cycle, at that time also there is a generation of ATP but in very low concentration. The actual ATP is formed in electron transport chain which takes place in the cristae and with the involvement of F0 F1 particles. Now just look at the structure of mitochondria. The inner membrane shows the infolding. This is known as cristae and this infolding consists of various enzyme complexes required for the electron transport chain, and the fifth complex is F0 F1 particle. Now this F0 F1 particle is shown again here. Here the red color is the intermembrane space and yellow color is the matrix of mitochondria. So it consists of F0 and F1 particle where actually ATP is synthesized. Now this process is also known as oxidative phosphorylation because oxidative stands for oxidation of NADH and FADH2, and ultimately this leads to the addition of phosphate group to the ADP, that means formation of ATP. So because of oxidation of NADH and FADH2 there is a phosphorylation on the ADP molecule, that's why it is known as oxidative phosphorylation. Here the electrons which are being liberated by the oxidation of NADH and FADH2, they are finally going to be accepted by the oxygen. That's why it is known as oxygen acts as a final electron acceptor. In this process the various components involved, they are coenzymes FAD and NAD, cytochromes B, C, A, A3. All these reactions which are happening in the electron transport chain, they are redox reaction. Now what does it mean? Just look at the word redox. Red stands for reduction and OX stands for oxidation. Here the electrons which are being liberated by the oxidation of NADH and FADH2, they are going to be accepted by some components. So that component is going to be reduced, and to continue the flow this component will lose the electron, that means oxidation. So in this complete cycle electron transport chain, a component or the constituents, they are going to accept the electron and lose the electron towards the another component. So reduction and oxidation, so in combine we can say a redox reaction. So these are the various complexes which are involved in the electron transport chain. Complex 1 is NADH oxidoreductase. Here because of oxidation of NADH The pair of electron is going to be transferred from the complex number 1 to subsequent complexes, and during that transfer the complex number 1 will pump the 4 protons from the matrix of mitochondria toward the intermembrane space. Likewise, at the complex number 2, a succinate dehydrogenase, no proton will be pumped from matrix to intermembrane space. Whereas in case of complex number 3, again a 4 protons will be pumped per electron pair transferred. At complex number 4, instead of 4, only 2 protons will be pumped. Whereas complex number 5 is ATP synthesis, where actually ATP is synthesized. So these are the various 5 complexes with their name and the function involved for the ATP synthesis. Now let's have a look at this diagram. This represents the electron transport chain. Here, so this area is intermembrane space, that is the space between inner membrane and the outer membrane of mitochondria, and this is the matrix phase. This is the inner mitochondrial membrane, which actually studied with the enzymes for the electron transport chain. Here a complex number 1 is NADH oxidoreductase, which shows the oxidation of NADH molecule. Because of oxidation of NADH molecule, there is a release of electrons, and these electrons will now flow from various entity towards the complex number 4. Remember that when this electron passes from the complex number 1, there is a transfer of 4 protons from matrix of the mitochondria toward the inner membrane space. Now when that same electron will reaches to the complex number 2, no proton will be transferred, but when this same reaches to the complex number 3, again 4 protons will be transferred. At complex number 4, 2 protons will be transferred. That means because of oxidation of NADH, there is a release of a pair of electron. This pair of electron will passes from the various constituents of the electron transport chain, and during that transfer a total of 10 protons will transfer from matrix to the intermembrane space. Now let's have a look at FADH2. Now FADH2 will be oxidized at complex number 2. Now, during this process, the electrons will move from complex number 2 onwards. So here there is no role of complex number 1. So because of oxidation of FADH2 at complex number 2, only 6 electron will be transferred from matrix to the intermembrane space. Here oxidation of FADH2 takes place at complex number 2, and complex 2 doesn't transfer the protons. So ultimately complex number 3 and 4, they are going to transfer the protons from matrix to the intermembrane space, that is in total 6 number. So what we have seen till now, when oxidation of NADH occurs at the complex number 1, a total of 10 electrons will be transferred from matrix to the intermembrane space. Whereas when FADH2 is oxidized at complex number 2, at that time only 6 proton will be transferred from matrix to the intermembrane space. As we have said that electrons are transferring, now this transferring electron finally reaches to this complex number 4, cytochrome oxidase, where this electron will be accepted by oxygen molecules and protons from the matrix to form a water molecule. Here the flow of electron generated by the oxidation of NADH and FADH2, this flow of electron will ultimately reaches to the oxygen and forms a water molecule. That's why it is known as final electron acceptor. Oxygen is known as final electron acceptor at complex number 4. As we are saying repeatedly that the protons are transferring from the matrix to the inner membrane cell, in inner membrane space of the mitochondria, there is a development of proton gradient. Now just remember the osmosis. What does it says? It says the development of a chemical gradient to one side of semi-permeable membrane, and because of this there is a flow of that constituents from higher potential toward the lower potential. Here the protons are accumulating in the intermembrane space. Now they will try to transfer from intermembrane space to the matrix of mitochondria, from higher potential to the lower potential via a semi permeable membrane, that is inner membrane of mitochondria. So that's why it is known as chemiosmosis, because chemical potential is developed, that is a proton potential is developed, and that proton potential, because of that proton potential, now this proton will try to transfer from intermembrane space toward the matrix via a enzyme complex known as ATP synthase. This is the fifth complex of electron transport chain, and during that transfer the F1 particle of the ATP synthase, it will rotate like a turbine. And now remember that the ADP plus Pi, these are going to be attached to the one of the component of F1 particle, and with the rotation of turbine there is a synthesis of ATP. So for a complete rotation, complete one rotation of turbine and synthesis of one ATP, there is a requirement of 4 proton molecule. So subsequently, when one proton is transferred from inner membrane space toward the mitochondria, a turbine rotates a single time. So likewise, with the passage of 4 proton, the complete turbine is rotated and one ATP is synthesized. Now just have a look at the NADH oxidation. Now with the oxidation of NADH, 10 protons are transferred. Now let's have how much ATP it can synthesize because of its oxidation. As 10 protons are transferred and 4 protons are required for 1 ATP. So 10 by 4. So it gives a 2.5. Means because of oxidation of NADH, 2.5 ATP is synthesized. So this is equivalent to 2.5. Now have a look at FADH2. Now FADH2 oxidize at complex number 2. So complex number 1 is neglected. Only 6 proton will be considered. So 6 proton will be transferred because of oxidation of FADH2. And again 4 protons required for the synthesis of 1 ATP. So 6 by 4 is 1.5. That means oxidation of FADH2 yields equivalent to 1.5 ATP. So here we can say 1 NADH is equal to 2.5 ATP and 1 FADH is equal to 1.5 ATP. So this is how ATP is produced in electron transport chain. Now these are the significance of electron transport chain. The chemiosmotic synthesis of ATP we have discussed just now. Splitting of hydrogen molecule, which happens at the complex number 1 and 2, where NADH and FADH2 is oxidized. Now there is a subsequent and sequential release of energy because of electron transport chain. So that's why it prevents a damage to a cell, and there is a synthesis of water at complex number 4 when electron accepted by a oxygen molecule. So this is the significance of electron transport chain in mitochondria. So this is all about oxidative photophosphorylation, electron transport chain. I hope you have understood the topic. If you have any queries, please feel free to ask. Thank you.